back to another video, and it is a very crappy day out here in New Jersey. I hate driving a Type R in this kind of weather, but you gotta do what you gotta do. So in today's video, as you can see behind me right there, see some Japanese writing, so you could only take the hint as it is some Mugen Tail lights, baby. I've been waiting for these for a while. Technically, I'm not even supposed to have these right now. I don't know how. Somebody was looking out for me. So originally I had ordered these from King Motorsports, and they said they weren't expecting them until mid-April, and I had ordered in mid-March. And I wanted them for Honda Day, obviously. So I'm like, this isn't gonna fly. I called them up. I'm like, hey, listen, you guys have a specific ETA on these tail lights because I need them for about the second week of April. And they're like, we don't think that's gonna happen. It's not possible. This time the third. So I'm like, all right, whatever, cancel the order. So then I reached out to JHP USA, who are California based, and I sent the same thing. Because they, on the site, it said they had them in stock, but you know, some of them be lying. So I wanted to make sure that they actually had them, so I called them up, and they told me the same thing. They go, oh, we just sold out of the last pair, but we have 10 more coming in right now, but they're stuck at the docks, because obviously they come from overseas. So I'm like, all right, you guys have an ETA. And he goes, honestly, man, it might be another 2 to 3 weeks. And if it would have hit that 3-week mark, it would have been already too late. So I'm just like, all right, whatever. Instead of calling all these other people, I was just gonna deal with it, and it was just gonna be what it was. And then sometime last week, we were out at dinner, and I got a text message saying that they shipped, and as you can see in my face, I can't be any happier. So we are going to be installing the Mugen tail lights today. Probably the finishing product as far as cosmetics go for right now. And then along with the Mugen tail lights, we have some HiRev reflectors as well. So just like the other video, I am on my way to work right now. We're going to go ahead, go through the day, bring the car in after work, and then install these tail lights, the reflectors, and then maintenance before mods. We are going to be doing an oil change. I've been tuned for about 3 weeks now, 3.5 weeks, and then with the flex fuel as well. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. So we're gonna go ahead, put some fresh oil in this thing, get ready for next week, because next week is Honda Day, baby. All right, guys, the work day is over. She's sitting nice and pretty, so I'm gonna go ahead and head to the parts store right over there, get our oil, and I'll meet you guys in the shop. All right, the usual spot, corner bay. Car is now in the shop. I got all the goods right here, as well as right there. We're gonna start with the oil change, obviously maintenance before mods, like I said earlier. First things first, pop off the oil cap, and then we'll go ahead and raise the car up. Next up, just like we did in previous video, to install the motor mount, we're gonna go ahead and drop this panel. Went ahead and loosened up the drain plug, pop that out, starting to drain the oil. And once that's drained, and it starts dripping, we'll go ahead and loosen up the filter, have them both drain out a little more, and then we'll go ahead and do everything in reverse. So I'll go ahead and lube up the new filter, put the filter on, and then replace the crush washer on the drain plug, put the drain plug in, and tighten that up. I went ahead and loosened up the oil filter now. As you can see, it is dripping a little bit there, so we're gonna go ahead and remove that, like so. Right, just empty that out. And then, it usually makes a mess. I try not to make a mess. And just like that. Filter is done, so now we're gonna let that drip out as well as the rest of the oil. All right, oil has stopped coming out of the filter area here. I'm gonna go ahead and wipe down this mating surface like I always do. It's a good habit. Let's wipe that down, and now we're gonna go ahead and loop up the new filter. All right, guys, today I ended up going with the frame titanium. I usually always run Mobile One in all of my cars. Every Honda that I ever had, I always ran Mobile One, and I never had a single issue. So I always ran Mobile One, but today they were out. So the next best item there was the frame titanium. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull this out. And I'm gonna lube up this black seal here. Don't gotta be nothing crazy, just some light lube. And now we go ahead and just start that obviously by hand and thread it on by hand onto where the filter goes. Like so. Usually once you get it started, you can just keep spinning and spinning and spinning. And then just make sure that's good and tight. Eventually it'll come to a stop right about there, and that's how you know you're good and tight. Next up, go ahead, replace the crush washer like I said on the drain plug, and then pop that in, and then we're gonna torque it down to spec. foot-pounds. Alright, drain plug's torqued down, filter is nice and tight. I went ahead and cleaned up with some brake clean all the way around. So now we're going to go ahead and put the shield back up and lower the car down and top her off with some fluid. Car's back down on the ground now. Let's go ahead and fill her up. The Type R motor takes about 5.4 quarts. Alright guys, once you go ahead, top her off with some oil, we'll go ahead, start her up. Make sure your oil pressure is good. No leaks or anything. Just as a safety measure pretty much. So your oil pressure is down in the corner there. You can see it's still lit, went away. So we should be good to go. Let it run for a second or two. Then we'll go ahead and measure the oil on the dipstick. As I went ahead and set her up for a sec, let it run. Now we're looking at the dipstick and we're pretty much right on the money. You want to pretty much anywhere in between those two dots is safe, but right up to that second dot, you're good to go. We're gonna go ahead and show you guys what it looks like once you go ahead and unbox them. Got the pamphlet from Mugen themselves, some paper to fill it up there, and then here you got the light, accessory kit, zip ties, foam pads, and looks like the dummy connectors for the inner lights, which is gonna sit right here, left hand side of the box, there, and then they even label what sides go to which. So this one just came out of the left hand side, meaning this is the left hand side tail light as well. And once you go ahead and take it out of the yellow bag, this is what you get. All right, several hours later now, the marker is installed. I'll go ahead and show you what that looks like in a sec here. After hours of the wiring, finally got the colors down. So you're gonna go yellow to yellow here on the driver's side, red to green here, and then obviously black to black for the ground. Repeat the same on the other side. And as far as the sequential turn signals go on the side markers, we're running into an issue to where it grounds itself out through the tail light. So we're only going to be able to run one of the two as of right now, and I'm sticking with running the brake light, and that way the sequential and the tail light can still work. As I realized while I was editing the video, I had missed some important parts when installing the reflectors as well as the tail lights. So once you go ahead and put the reflectors into the trim piece and secure it, you're going to run the wires through a square hole that sits in the middle of the rear bumper right about here behind this panel. And you're going to finagle it up and pull the wires up through here, and then you'll run the wiring to the tail lights and do that on both sides, as well as the small lights here. You have two 8mm bolts on the outer edges, and then you're going to drop these trim panels all the way around, and there's going to be an 8mm. It's pointed upwards. Kind of got to sneak the ratchet in there, and then they also provide you with a dummy plug in place of the wiring that was there, because these do not light up. Alright guys, so here are the lights all installed. So all of the color wiring on this side is going to be the exact same for the passenger side. Like I said, I was having some issues with both the turn signal and the brake light at the same time, so I'm only going to stick with the brake light for now. If anybody has a solution out there, please let me know in the comments down below, or reach out to me on my Instagram. Here we have the reverse lights that are down in the bottom, and then these are lit up even more now with the brake light on. Now I'll go ahead and do that multiple times so you guys can see. Guys, so that is the finished result. As of right now, this looks great. Now it's only right to do the unveiling. Boom. And that is with the trunk closed. And guys, this looks great. I'm in love. Here she is, all buttoned up. Everything is back together. Go ahead and hit the lights for you guys. So that's the lock. Unlock. Here she is outside. They look great. Let me tell you, I am very impressed with them. Got the nice Mugen hit on the side there, looking good. I'm beyond satisfied. So I'm sorry if today's video seemed a little bit all over the place. It's because those rear reflectors really had me bugging out for a sec. I could not for the life of me figure out what was going on. I knew at one point I had the power, I had the ground, then I had the turn signal, but I couldn't get the brake light to come on, the two-step brake light. because of the date. It's got the daytime running and then the brake light as well. So I had the daytime running, but I couldn't figure out the brake light. It was just a nightmare. I kid you not, I probably spent 2 hours just trying to figure out this whole wiring thing. So once I did, turns out I could only do A, the turn signal, or B, the brake light, and I chose to stick with the brake light. That way the sequential and the Mugen Tail light looks good, and we'll just stick with that for now. If anybody has a fix for this and figures out what to do, please let me know, because I would obviously like to have it function the way it's supposed to function. Moving on though, I am very impressed with them. I actually just realized now I never actually showed you guys how to install them. I just showed you pretty much the wiring, so I'm gonna give you guys a quick run through here. Pretty much you just have 2 8s, one there, and then there's 2 little plastic clips that clip into the rear quarter panel there, so you just pull out on the tail light, so that pops out. You got all the wires in the back as you guys saw, and then on this lower section here, it's literally just plastic clips. You'll take a little pry bar, or you can even use a microfiber and a flathead screwdriver and just pop. I believe there's about 6 clips. There's probably 2 down here, 2 here, and then 2 on the side, I believe, and it also disconnects right here if you want to take it all the way out. And then on the back with the OEM ones, there's just a little clip up on the clip that pops out. And then HiRev provides you with 2 little screws that you can use. I wanted a little more security, so I just used some double-sided 3M tape. There was a little section I put here as well as on the bottom. So we're good to go. With that being said, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and close out today's video. Thanks for tuning in. Please stay tuned for more content coming soon. Please make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe down below. Peace out.